Now, some of our tents come with dividing curtains for the rear bedroom. The way to tell whether your tent should have one or not is if we have two doors in this main dividing wall here, it means it comes with a dividing curtain to separate this off into two bedrooms, hence why we have two doors. Now, the dividing curtains are a thick cotton sheet, unfolded. At the top we have little SR buckles. These SR buckles clipped in the top there. Same on this side. Fix it up. Now at the bottom part we have these hooks, and these hooks go into the rings down at the bottom of the tent. They can be tensioned up, be made a little bit tighter. There's also velcros on the sides. Velcro go along the ridge support poles, both front and back. And that just gives you a small amount of privacy between one bedroom and another. It also means that each bedroom's got its own door and its own window at the back, so it makes it a completely separate area. All our bedrooms are designed to be able to fit a queen air bed inside, so if we can't fit a queen air bed in, we don't call it a separate bedroom. Paracord access on Freedom canvas tents is found on the side of the doors and the side of the full side openings. They're off to the side so that there's no chance of people catching the cords when they walk in and out of the tent. Now, once the cord is threaded through this side opening, then it can be attached to these little velcros, and these velcros run up the seam and then continue up the roof to the ridge line. This allows you to run the cord all the way up to the roof and then wrap it around the ridge pole to move your power into the back of the tent. And also means it gets it off the ground and off the floor and away from kids and young hands. The poles on our canvas tents are all gold Pasifate coated. This gives us gold shiny coating on the outside of the pole. The reason we do this is because it's a lot more rust resistant and corrosion resistant, which is really important if you're camping beside the beach and there's a lot of salt in the air. It also makes them stronger, so it means we can get away with a lighter weight pole with the same amount of strength, so it saves you weight on your whole tent. On each of the poles we stamp our numbers on. On all of our eave poles you'll find the numbers E1 through to E7 or 8 depending on the size of the tent. R poles will be for ridge poles and S for support poles. The reason we stamp them on is because they're really durable, so this tent is going to last you 15-20 years if you look after it. So by stamping it on we can ensure that you're always going to be able to find the number on your pole. The most important thing with your poles when you buy a tent is to make sure they're packed down dry and make sure they're clean when they go down. Otherwise you can get moisture build up over time, especially if you're storing them over the winter period. All Freedom canvas tents have continuous pole sleeves. These are pole sleeves along the side of the tent. Pole threads through this section here. By having continuous pole sleeves it means you can thread the pole all the way through. Pole sleeve joining into the second half of the tent and all the way through the second pole sleeve. Instead of what typically happens on canvas tents is you have individual webbing loops all the way down, which takes longer to pitch, and also you're more likely to miss one of them when you're going up. Now, some of the other benefits of having continuous pole sleeve other than pitching time is the fact that because you've got a long section of canvas on both sides here, it's a lot stronger for your tent, so there's more seam that it catches into. We have these cutouts on either side, and this lets water run off from the roof. We keep the water run off from the roof in the centre of these windows, so that gives you the most protection from any seams where water is likely to work its way into. At the end of the pole sleeve, you'll notice we have this pole sock. Now this pole sock flips over top, as we mentioned before, to stop water running down into the awning area as such. Underneath this you have a black webbing loop. This black webbing loop is to keep the tent tension from one side to the other. It's important that the webbing loop goes all the way over the pole, not just over this little button clip here. It can cause this button clip to become weak over time. if you have trouble getting this on, a good tip for you is that you can put a peg through that webbing loop to pull it over, because it's quite tight when it's first made. It will loosen up over time. Halfway down the pole sleeve, you'll see this section here. Now this is a support slot for a pole which runs through the middle of the tent, and it's to lift up and support the centre part of the eave pole. It's important when you are pitching your tent that you have this pole sock here. You thread that inside the pole sleeve like that, and that'll stop any water running down inside that pole. Your canvas tent will come with these little witch hats. Now, these witch hats here are designed to go on top of these spikes here and prevent water running down the pole inside your tent. It's particularly important in the awning area when you've got a sunroom, and also on the main body of your tent when you're pitching the tent, so water doesn't run inside. Now, a really important tip when putting these witch hats on is that it needs to go underneath the sky rope point on the side here. So thread your pole through, sit the witch hat on top, and then set the guy rope on top like that. Tighten that up. If you have your guy rope underneath that witch hat, it will create space underneath there, and then the water will get in underneath the witch hat and run down your pole. On all of our tents that have full side openings, we also provide these little bungee guys. Now, these little guy ropes here are designed to be able to connect onto the eyelets, each side of this, yep. And the peg runs through this ring. So. Now, that allows you to have the side opening open and let a little bit of airflow flowing through. You can also have this tent the side opening when it's raining as well. And this is one of the other reasons why we have this angled side inside the side opening, so there's less chance of driving rain getting inside there. It sort of allows you all your privacy, and because they're bungeed, you're less likely to have people injuring themselves or anything by tripping over them. It gives a little bit of slack inside the side panel. One great optional extra for your canvas tent is a corner cupboard. Now, these corner cupboards are designed to sit inside this corner section of each room. Now you see that they're colour coded, so this one here will fit in our red corner, and this one here will fit in our black corner as our opposing sides. To connect them in, just connect these hooks into the rings down on the bottom of the floor, and then the top ring goes into this top section that's up there. Now you can adjust the height of this depending on how high your tent is. So as we mentioned, they're opposing sides. So on the red side, the red webbing will match the red ring at the top. And the great thing about these cupboards is that they fill up this useless space inside your tent. It still allows you full access into your window and the corners, but it doesn't fill it fills up this corner side here where you've got angles and you can't put cupboards against. Also, another great feature with these cupboards is that they are interchangeable to any corner inside your tent. So that if you decide you want a bed in this corner here, you can move this red cupboard across the opposite red corner, and in both the front and rear rooms. All of our cupboards come with a set of two, so they come in either angled versions or vertical versions. Angled will be all our style tents which have angled walls on the sides, and verticals are for our straight wall 3-bedroom style tents.